Solomon, can you just talk about your emotions and the moments after getting the news, and just exactly what did Marshawn Kneeland mean to you and the guys around him?
Emotions from hearing the news about Marshawn was, completely tragic. Just in complete shock, trying to figure out what's real, what's going on. Marshawn was somebody who we spent every day with in the D-line room. I sat right behind him. He was someone who, one of the first guys I met when I first came in the building during captain workouts in the off season, and Marshawn meant the world to us. As a brother, as I said at the vigil on Monday night, is like people don't understand. Like, we're all teammates. We may not be best friends, but we're all brothers. And just to lose someone like that who brought so much joy in the room, always a smile on his face. Always enjoying the time. Every time he made a big play, you could see the smile through his helmet. Someone who held the standard every day and how he worked, always running to the ball, always working his tail off in every aspect of the game. Someone who didn't take each day for granted. And to have that spirit and that just person missing in your room, it's devastating. It's devastating for his teammates, but it's even more devastating than that. It's devastating for his family, for Catalina, for all his loved ones. He was loved by so many, and you could feel that love throughout the last week. And there's no way to replace that spirit or that feeling, but to keep him with us in everything we do. Do this for him. Keep his name held high. And just love him and keep him alive in every way we can.
And what did it mean to you to be asked to speak at his vigil?
It was honestly really hard to, be asked, because it's hard to put into words, like the pain that everyone's feeling, and you can't even imagine. Like you can say I can't imagine, but in reality, like you can never imagine someone's pain. You can never really know what they're going through and what they're feeling, and so to try to put that into words is really hard. I just got here. I've been here for a year. I knew Marshawn for about 8 months, and to feel like, am I deserving of speaking? Am I but I just try to sum up what Marshawn meant to me. I try to sum up what he meant to this team, what he meant to this world, and you can see it. You can see it all over social media. You can see it on this team. On Monday, Shadi had a very special day for us. We were, as a D-line, we were basically in the position room with a therapist with Dr. T for about 2 hours, and guys were crying, guys were pouring their feelings and emotions out, guys were being extremely vulnerable, and it's just so telling of who Marshawn was and what he meant to this team, and he will forever be missed and will forever hold his name and spirit held high.
What's been the hardest part for you personally, Solomon, throughout all of this?
For me personally, a loss of a brother, a loss of someone who gave me the honor and respect of him looking up to me as a veteran. But even past that, I have a history with mental health and in my family, and a lot of triggering emotions for myself. And not to make that more important than any of the pain that anyone else is feeling right now. It's just been really a really hard week, for the emotions I've been feeling, but also, I like I said, I can't imagine the emotions that his family and Catalina are feeling. That it's a tragic death. It's a death of a 24-year-old young man who had so much life to live. And my hearts just break for everyone, and my prayers go out to everyone. And the only way I know how to get out of it, to move forward from a tragic situation like this, is to live for that person, take the amazing qualities that you learned from them, take the smiles and memories that you gave from them, and apply them to your life every day, and live for that person, talk to their spirit, hold their spirit with you every day. The only way I truly believe you can let someone die is not living with their spirit, not saying their name, not talking to them, not loving them, not feeling the grief. Because grief is pain, but grief is also love, and you feel that hurt, you feel that guilt, you feel that shame, you feel the sadness and depression because you had so much love for that person. So that's really been the pain for me the last week.
Shadi said that the team plans to honor Marshawn in the way that you play the rest of the season and moving forward. So how do you define that, and how do you think it can manifest itself on the field?
I mean, if we all play like Marshawn, we'll play as a better team. I'm not saying Marshawn was a perfect player, but the way he would go out there and play is the way football's supposed to be played. He would run to the ball, even no matter how tired he was. He would play with intensity and tenacity, and he went out there because he loved the game and he played with love. He played every play like it was his last. He didn't take reps for granted. what I learned is that he came from a small town in Michigan, and he wasn't supposed to be here. So he played like he wanted to be here every single day. And if we do that, we'll honor him, win, loss, or draw. Like if we play like Marshawn, we'll be a better team and we'll come out of this better.
So in 2012, you lost one of your best friends in the middle of the season, Jacob Logan at Coppell. Just what do you remember about that? And obviously not by suicide, but just in the middle of a football season and how you guys kind of proceeded in that.
Yeah, Jacob Logan was a great friend of mine, is a great friend of mine. And I love Jacob every day, so close to his family. And losing him, like he was one of our leaders, one of our brothers, and losing him middle of the season was one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through. But the only way we got through it was loving each other, being there for each other, guys hugging, crying after every win or loss. After we lost him, guys coming together. And that's the only way we can get through this is loving each other, is being there for each other, being vulnerable, holding a brother when he's down, asking someone how they're doing, but really meaning it, like not just saying how are you doing to walk by, but like bro, how you doing? How you holding up? Like I'm here for you. So I've gone through this before, like you said, and I'll forever live for Jacob, and I'll forever live for Marshawn. But there's only one way through this, and that's through love and holding each other high.
Was there ever any signs that y'all saw that he might have been struggling?
No, Marshawn was in the building smiling every day. He was happy. He was listening to music. He was dancing all the time. But that's the thing with mental health and suicide. You just never know what someone's going through. Someone could be smiling. Someone could be dancing, laughing, having a great time, expressing all this joy. But inside, they could really be fighting a battle that you never know about. You don't know what the chemicals are telling them in their brain. You don't know the trauma from their childhood. You don't know everything they've been going through. And that's why it's so important to be kind. It's so important to ask people how they're doing. It's so important to tell people the resources around them and that therapy is okay as a man, therapy is okay as a woman. Like these are these things that we need to go through, because you never know what battle someone's going through. And yeah, it's just it's hard, it's tragic, it's such a young life that should be here. And this is why mental health is so important. So many people struggle with it around the world, and in our country, like on football teams and classrooms, ages, like if you look at the mental health statistics, they start at the age of 9. Like kids are dying by 9 at the age to suicide. Like it's something our whole nation needs to take seriously. Like get off social media believing everything is just like highlights. That's not life. Life is about the adversity, the hard times, the sad times, the depression, the sadness, the anxiety. Like these are all feelings of the human experience. So we just have to let people feel human and be human. Like it's like that's what we have to do, because it's such a preventable death, and we're losing so many amazing people to it. People that should be here hugging their loved ones, spending birthdays with their loved ones, watching people get married, engaged. Like it's such a preventable death, and we just need, as a nation, to come together, be kind, put more funding into mental health resources, help people get to therapy, let people know it's okay to cry, let people know it's okay to not always put a smile on and be good. Like let people know you can be sad and happy and still have a good day. You can cry, laugh, scream, and that could still be a good day. Like you don't always have to be good. It's okay not to be okay. These are things that everyone needs to know, because we're losing way too many people to this cause.
Solomon Shadi talked a lot about the stories that have been shared between you guys about Marshawn, and some of the positives of that. How important has that been to be able to share some stories, and is there any stories that you've heard that really stuck out to you?
It's been sweet to see a lot of people, share the stories of Marshawn. He impacted everyone on this team, and it's been really cool to hear his impact and their happy memories. And that's what's important in this time, to, share those happy moments of Marshawn, because this moment does not define Marshawn. Marshawn was someone who brought so much love and joy to so many people, who brought happiness to so many people. Guys in the D-line room were just laughing about all the jokes he used to tell. And personally for me, as a vet, he was always coming up to me. I don't know if he was searching for validation or he was just trying to be, a silly younger player, but he'd always be like, "Hey, Sally, when we win the Super Bowl, can we get matching tattoos?" Or, if our kids are born at the same time, can they grow up as best friends? Just stuff like that. And, he meant so much to so many, and it's you see it all over this team. Like I'm on Instagram and I'm seeing, this riding club in Dallas. Like this dude wrote a whole paragraph about Marshawn, how special he made him feel. Like a professional athlete, like in a normal riding group with people, like making people feel like, you know, they're just as important as him. Like, he gave that impact to people, and you know, just hearing the people speak at his vigil was so impactful. You know, he meant so much to so many, and we just keep living for him and keep living for his spirit.
How do you escape the grief and make this game important? And is playing a game an important milestone in getting past this and moving forward?
Well, first of all, you don't escape grief. Grief never leaves you. Grief is forever with you. Like, and as soon as you feel like you're on top of grief, grief will hit you on the head as hard as a rock. So the first thing I'm telling guys is to honor themselves throughout this process. Don't try to run away from the grief, because the moment you run away from it, the bigger it gets, and the more that will affect your performance. If you have to cry, cry. I'll hold you up. Like, if you have to go outside during meetings and just walk around, call your mom, do that. Like, that's what's important right now. Feel that grief, feel that pain. Cry, be angry, be confused, because that's what's real. It's not real to run away from your grief. So as we're moving forward for this game, like, we're going to feel the grief. You know, it's going to be a very emotional game Monday. There's going to be an absence of spirits that's missing that's going to hurt a lot of people and just make people realize that, hey, he's not here, and make it feel even more real. And that's going to be really hard. But in that process, while feeling grief, while feeling depressed, while feeling anxious, while going through loss, you know, we can still move forward in a way to honor Marshawn by playing our best game and playing as hard as we can and moving a step forward as a team for him. And I believe that's what the process is to not run away from your grief, bring the grief with you, because those emotions, you can use them for good. You can use them in the memory of Marshawn. You can use them in the memory of how we used to play. And it's just what this game means. Like, this game means it's so much more than a game. It's stories. Like, that's why I love sports. Sports is so much more than just like guys throwing a football around. There's so many beautiful stories in that locker room of guys overcoming grief, bringing grief with them to play this game. And from all over backgrounds, differences in politics, differences and values, but we all come together for one goal. And I think that's going to be the main thing for this game is bring those feelings from Marshawn with you and play for them.
Thank you.
Just talk about the emotions in the moment following the news, and also what it meant to be asked to speak at his vigil earlier this week.
It's definitely just shocking. You know what I mean? Like, just being hit with like a wave of shock, followed by just like heaviness in my heart. You know, and then just like, you know, back to that shock and just being like, damn, you know, meant a lot. Just having the honor of speaking on his behalf and just being able to honor him at the vigil, you know, that was my little bro. Like, I love Marshawn, you know, and so being able to do that, I mean, it was tough, but like, it was definitely an honor.
What are you going to remember most about Marshawn?
A lot, you know what I mean? Like, we had good laughs, like, we'd always joke, you know, a lot of like locker room jokes and stuff like that, a lot of moments in the training room, and just knowing like that was someone like I respected a lot, because I pretty much live here and I'm in the building a lot, and that's someone that I was seeing here often in those hours after we all are done with our mandatory work.
You mentioned he's your little bro. How did your guys' relationship grow from the time you met him?
You know, I just always encourage Marshawn, like I do with all the rookies. I just feel like he's someone that like is receptive to stuff like that. And then like in terms of just like knowing the playbook and stuff like that, that was something that stuck out to me. Like when he came in and just being a sponge and wanting to learn, like, what do you do for your body, stuff like this. You know what I mean? Just like, what do you do in the off season? You know, is there anything that you do that just helps you a little bit extra, just trying to find out stuff like that, you know? And then just slowly but surely, like, he would start to open up to me a little bit, you know? And one of the people, like one of his people after the vigil told me, you know, he's kind of secluded. He doesn't really say too much, very private guy. Like, if he opened up to you, that meant he loved you, you know? And I know, like, and he even told me, I asked him, I was like, man, like, you don't really talk to too many people. It's like, yeah, I kind of like to just keep things low key. Like, I only talk to like certain people, keep things real tight.
So when you think back to Monday, how hard it was to get back here, to come together to help each other cope, what will you remember most?
Just kind of like what we're all saying, like the theme that we're kind of moving forward with is just like, don't move on, but move forward. And then just 3 things that we have to do to turn this hurt and this pain into something positive it's just like supporting the fam forever, Marshawn's family is a part of the Cowboys family for life, investing in each other and leaning on each other to get through this and continue like our mission, and just knowing that we have to continue doing what we do and playing, but doing that with like a new purpose.
I'll say you're obviously a leader in the room, but how important has it been to have Solomon there, and how has he been to guiding you guys through all this?
Solomon is great to have in the room just in general, but like his experience with this something so heavy like suicide, and just being able to share that with us and just give us words and just knowing like this isn't normal, you don't have to be okay, and just constantly reminding us that he's there for us and he loves the room, and just making sure we know that we don't have to go through anything alone. We can always talk to him or anybody in the room and just being there,
What was it like getting back on the field as a team today? Was it hard? Was it helpful for you?
It's helpful for me personally. I feel like, one, I'm kind of a busybody, so being able to like move around helps get some sort of normalcy back, and then just, like I said, continue the mission, and playing with a purpose for honoring Marshawn and playing the way he did, and just bringing that same love, passion, and effort to the game.
What does that look like in football terms, trying to play in a way to honor Marshawn?
Relentless. Marshawn did everything 110%, and that's on and off the field, like with the people that he loved, the emotions that he felt, like, and that translated to the way he played. Just everything was 110%.
Shotty's talked about how he really values getting as much input from players as possible, especially with something like this, and making decisions on how to honor him. What did those conversations look like as far as figuring out the decal, the T-shirts, and the other ways you'll honor him?
They definitely hit us up asking about the T-shirt designs and stuff like that, and we helped pick those out. And then, thing that we talked about kind of immediately in the group chat is like after finding out that his girlfriend was pregnant and is pregnant, it's like we got to support her. That's like the first thing that we did, and Shotty and them got right on that in terms of starting the Marshawn Kneeland Memorial Fund. So,
How tough is it from the D-line group, because you see this guy every day in your meetings and that kind of thing, obviously the individual drills, and today you come out to practice or even the meeting today, how hard was it to say he's not here today?
It's just crazy, you know what I mean? Just still something that I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like I was at my locker before practice, and I looked up and I felt like I saw him. I was like, oh no, that's someone else, and it just it hits you, you know what I mean? It's just moments like that. So it's still sinking in, to be honest. Like it's still doesn't feel all the way real,
When you think back on the conversations that you had with him when he got a little closer to him than most other people do you ever look back and think, was there something that he said to me that would give me an idea that it could end up like this?
I've seen him get upset before, and that's why I know like Marshawn was a sensitive guy, like, and that's why I'm like, I know everything was 110% with him, even his emotions. Like when he got upset, he would be very upset, So that was kind of the most that I knew.
Okay, thank you all.
Thanks,
Yep.
Thanks, man. Feedback.
Hey, how y'all doing?
How you doing? Easy, can you just talk about your emotions in the moments after getting the news, and just also just talk about what Marshawn meant to you?
Yeah, obviously Marshawn, a great person, great friend, great teammate. Emotions can't, it's hard to, relive that again. But obviously they weren't the best. But kind of like what everybody's been saying, especially what Flo just said, great individual, and it's very sad incident that, affected us, impacted us as a team. But, like you said as well, we want to play for Marshawn. We want to, carry that along with us and honor him in whatever way possible.
Obviously, you guys are in the same room, and Sally talked about the emotions of having those meetings together. How difficult is it just to go in the meeting room and he's not there?
Yeah, it is very difficult, and Sally even mentioned that we're going through something that's not normal, and we're kind of trying to find a new normal in a way, and it's tough at the same time. We have to not move past the situation, but we have to move forward in this situation. Like I said, playing for him, honor him in whatever way possible, but at the same time we still have to do our job. So
You were also next to him in the locker room, or right by him.
Mm-hmm.
Just what are you going to remember about him, and what comes to mind when you think of
The type of person he is, the smile that he always carried. So.
He talked about him being playful, telling jokes. What kind of jokes would he tell?
Just, the typical locker room teammate jokes, nothing, out of the ordinary, nothing too crazy.
Shotty said that you had said some words to the team at one point, and understandably so, a lot of, this grieving process needs to stay private to y'all. Is there anything from that you could share about how you tried to help your teammates cope?
Just, that we all kind of get through these things in different ways. We all kind of process things in different ways, but we have to do that together. That's the biggest thing, and it's okay to process in different ways. It's okay to, get through these things in different ways, but just know that you got your brother to lean on as well.
Saw some people left flowers at his locker during the week last week. How hard has it been, I guess, for everyone to obviously go and see?
It's been very hard. It's even hard talking about it now and reliving it. But it's been very hard for sure.
Flo was very close to him. How much you try to support him to say, hey, we got your back too?
Shoot, the same way we support everybody in that locker room and everybody who's been impacted and touched by the situation. Brother, we got you. We got your back. If we need to talk, we do a little extra, checking up on each other now, which is sad that has to be the reminder. But, that's something that we have to do. So,
Dak talked about how important it is just to be together as a team during all this, and how hard it was during the bye week. But just how valuable has it been being together and seeing, being there for each other?
Yeah, it's really good, especially getting back on the grass today after not playing football for a couple of days, due to the bye. And that was for me, that helps me a lot, because it kind of takes your mind off of, the things that we go through off the field. And, we just got to lock in and focus on what we got going on the field. So,
from day one, Shotty's made it clear how important culture is to him. We saw his emotions yesterday during his press conference. What has he meant to have during this week?
Yeah, a lot of credit to Coach Shotty on how he handled the situation and how he's continuing to handle the situation, especially with this team. He's not afraid to be vulnerable with us, and I think that's why he kind of invites us to do the same with him. And a lot of credit to him. I respect the heck out of that guy. But that's the culture. That's the family environment that we have here, and why we want to play for each other. So,
what will Monday be like?
I think it's going to be it's going to be emotional, of course. At the same time, I think we're going to play for our brother, who's no longer with us. So, yeah, that's all I can say to that.
Oh, man, it was shocking, honestly. Bye week, everybody home, just waking up and just hearing that news is, shocking, honestly. A lot of y'all know me and Marshawn came in together as rookies, and all my girls, so my wife and his girl, became close, and we went on double dates, and I'm just thinking, man, the times we went on double dates, I just wish I would have told him, we got a winning God. No matter how hard any life gets, just turn to God, because I'm a witness. I done read it in the Bible, and I done witnessed it in life. So I just, man, rest in peace. All I could do is just play for him, for sure.
Were there any signs at all that you could remember? I know you've gone back in your mind many times. I'm sorry for asking that. But since y'all were so close to those double days, do you recall anything that would give any indication they was feeling how he was feeling?
Yeah, no signs at all. It was just a happy guy, just always smiling, always cracking jokes, dancing, playing a lot, and you will never know. And that's why, it's crazy, it's shocking. That's why I said it was shocking.
Monday night, he gets the touchdown. I don't know if you had talked to him Tuesday or after, but what was the emotions of that and now what we're dealing with right now?
No, it's crazy. Just you could be high off life and, just scoring an NFL touchdown, which a lot of people don't do, and then, be gone a couple days later. And I remember him scoring. I remember the play. Me and Sam got back there. Sam blocked the punt, and I remember racing to the ball. And I'm seeing Marshawn running like a 4.2. I'm like, dang. And then, he beat me to the ball, got the touchdown, and it was like we all cheering because, as special teams, we need that, special teams, special players, and he was a special player, and it was just cool to see him get that moment. And like I said, it's sad to see him go.
How important has it been to be around teammates this week?
Yeah, it's super important. Just knowing that we loved each other. Even the the candlelight we had a couple days ago. It was just joyful just to see how loved and respected he was, just by hearing other players tell their stories and just say how they impacted his life, impacted their lives. And, man, Marshawn's going to be missed for sure.
Is there a story you had about him that you shared, or is there something that sticks out to you when you think about Marshawn and your relationship with him?
Just the playfulness, just a playful guy, any like in the locker room, just jokes. And like I said, me and him went on double dates, kind of came close, and training camp, going to LA together with our girls, walking the strip. And, it's just like I said, I just wish I could have talked to him about God more. As a Christian, I feel like I'm a Christian, and I feel like I should have just, instilled that in his brain, and I used the opportunity to tell my fellow teammates how we have a winning God, and I wanted to use that opportunity to talk about just, how God would never fail us in the team either.
Ryan, you mentioned the double dates and getting to know his girlfriend a little bit. Shadi, told us that there's a fund set up, and you guys plan on supporting her. What has been the message to her about the intention of this group to support her?
Oh, for sure, that she's not alone. She's expecting the child, and we want her and that child to never need. Marshawn was a great guy. He would have been a fantastic dad, and just for that unborn child to know that his pops was loved. And the team is doing great. Me and my wife been trying to do everything to give Kneeland her space and support her financially and just with love. That's really what it is right now.
A lot of guys have talked about trying to play in honor of Marshawn. In your description, what does that look like?
Man, just playing from love and not for love. Marshawn loved the game. You can see it by his play style, just how his motor was. Every play, he's just going fast, and that's what we're going to bring this Monday night and throughout the whole season. Just playing for him, just playing for 9-4, because he would love to be on that field playing with us.
And having been so close to him, that'll obviously be the approach on the field, off the field. How do you feel is the best way to honor him going forward?
Man, just let people know let others know that they're loved. Situation and how it was handled. I just want people to know that they're loved and that they're not alone. Mental health is a real thing. Sometimes we can be like we have nobody to call on, and sometimes we do, and it's tough to feel alone in that moment and to just make that moment that's permanent, and I just want to let people know, man, if y'all going through anything, man, just lean on y'all loved ones, lean on God, and that's how outside of football, just that's how it is.
Ryan, Shadi said Monday night will obviously be really emotional. He said today he wants to give you guys every detail so you can expect what's coming with the honoring Marshawn in the moment of silence, but still, how hard do you think that will be to go from the moment of silence to trying to play a football game?
Man, just knowing, honestly, just knowing that everybody prayed to play football that's in this building, that's on the team, that's to sacrifice a lot to play, and playing for Marshawn is what we got to do. We want to win, we want to play the best, no mistakes, and just hold Marshawn in our hearts while we play is give us fuel, give us a little bit of motivation. That moment of silence is to honor his life, and we just go out there and play for him, just play with the mindset he always had, just watching the video they had up there on the board and just seeing how he was having fun and just having fun with it, just having that monster just to us, to him, and just that's how we got to play. And I feel like after that moment of silence, we will feel that and feel his spirit.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, man. Thank y'all for sure.